Welcome back to Fireside Chats, episode number 21. We're here with SS Grandma as always, and, it's pretty close to Christmas still, and so we're going to ask Grandma what it was like having Christmas in her household when she was a kid.
Well, it was quite different. We didn't get the presents that they get today. We would like to have the presents they have today, but it just wasn't something that you thought you were entitled to. If we got an orange in the bottom of our stocking, we were very happy. I can remember getting a little dolly or some jacks or something like that. And one thing that was different, when you woke up in the morning, there was the Christmas tree all decorated. And you just, how did that happen? Santa Claus was here. But then I thought later, oh my gosh, my mother and father had to stay up and decorate that tree after we went to sleep. But that's what, in those days, that's what you did. You'd wake up to the Christmas tree. You didn't decorate it. So that made it a little different. So we never had a lot of toys or anything like that. But we still loved Christmas. And being Catholic, we would go to midnight mass many, many times. And come home, and of course the kids would fall asleep. And I can't even remember going to midnight mass when I was a kid. But later on with my own children, some of them, as they got older, would go with us. But usually it was Stan and I that went to midnight mass because I directed the choir. And our children, because we were such a big family and were living on a school teacher's salary, they knew they weren't going to get a lot of big presents. One Christmas stands out when Louie and Bruce were about, I guess, 9, 11, or a little older. They wanted a bicycle so bad. Well, we knew we couldn't afford new bicycles. But Grandpa being Grandpa, he found a couple of second-hand bicycles, and we scraped and painted and fixed them all up. But then, we always had to go to Mundy's for Christmas Day. So we knew if the kids got those bicycles, they would not want to go. We got up Christmas morning. Louie and Bruce looked around. No bicycles. They looked out the door or the window, and there went the neighbor kid in a brand new bike. And the looks on their faces were, but they looked around. But they each got a little gift, and Craig got a little something else, and Sally, and they were telling him, oh, isn't that wonderful what you got, and they were really putting on a good show. So then after a while, we went over to Monday and beat Pops, and Craig ran in ahead of him. And they got in there, he was sitting on one of the bikes. Look what I got! And they, oh, thank you, Monty, thank you, Beat Pops. And I said, no, Santa Claus brought him over here because he knew you'd want to ride him. They were just thrilled to death, and they spent the day riding around Mummy's house. They really put on a good act. So our kids never got a lot of big presents, but they enjoyed Christmas and were very unselfish. And one year, I don't know why we decided everybody should make gifts. And that was the year that Bruce, I think around 14, and he made wahoo boards for everybody in the family. Not each kid, but for our family, David's family, and the others. And that's how the wahoo thing sort of got going. But it was a good year because they really had to think what to make, even the little ones.
Well, our Christmas tree didn't appear. It was grown on the property, and it was cut down, and it was a big deal to bring in that big bushy pine tree. And we enjoyed decorating it. Bring out the tub of decorations, and a lot of them, I remember pine cones. was the original decoration, because that's all you could afford, right?
Yeah.
Mom had painted pine cones, gold and silver with, I think, red ribbon on the top. So we'd decorate the tree, and I remember this big paper Santa Claus face. I think it was that big, but I was little, so maybe it was only this big. I don't know. And we taped that thing to the wall every year. I think my favorite memory was going, I think Christmas Eve was at Nana's, which was, and Granddaddy, which was Mom's parents. And Christmas Day, of course, in the morning was the family, getting our stocking, which wasn't too exciting. I think it was always underwear and socks, I think.
Yeah.
Something very practical.
All that.
And the gift. And then in the afternoon, we'd go have Christmas dinner at Mumdy's. It seemed like there was always game or putting on goofy plays like We Three Kings of Orient Are tried to smoke rubber cigar, it exploded. Silent Night. Ever heard that? I'll sing it for you. No. But one of my favorite memories was going to Nana and Granddaddy's, and Mom said, we're going to surprise them. We're going to sing Christmas carols outside the door. And I just thought that was the most exciting thing, that we were going to sing Christmas carols outside the door. Nana was really musical. That's where Mom got her talent, and I probably got my voice. Yeah, that was when they lived in this big 2-story house, I think. And Nana died when I was 9, so I remember the year that we knew she wasn't going to be there, but we always met there Christmas Eve. And at the table, we had accidentally set an extra place. It's like, when Nana wasn't there. It's a neat house, swinging kitchen door. I'm sure she was always in there cooking, but we made some good memories there. Good memories with my dad's parents, Mumdy and Pops, and Mumdy's games and our silly plays on Christmas Day. Oh, I know, I was also going to say, the next year, I think Mom decided to do Christmas Eve at our house from then on, I think, because it seemed to change to our house after that Christmas.
She died.
It seemed like you always did, like maybe roast beef. I mean, a really nice Christmas Eve dinner on the tablecloth and the prettiest dishes. And I remember one year you made ice cream snowmen, I think, and in the freezer. I remember opening the freezer and all these little plates with
Snowman.
little snowmen on it, and then bring those
I
out.
know, with ice cream.
I
Yeah.
don't know how she had the time to do that stuff. 7 kids, count them, all these fancy little things.
That's the fun part.
And that's when my cousins from that side of the family came, and Aunt Pat came.
Yeah.
And there was a year that I was definitely too old for dolls, and Aunt Pat had a stroke and had been in a nursing home and just was in a little different place mentally. And I saw her present, and I thought, oh, she doesn't know I'm too old for dolls. I think she got me a doll. It was one of those foam purses that you make in the rest homes. It was like, oh, disappointing. Christmas is always a lot of baking and making candy. It still is.
We always cut down the tree when we lived in Rolling Hills.
Cut down that
Old
tree.
on the property.
I have a picture. I couldn't find it in Mom's pictures of, I think it's Ellen and Mark and Jacqueline and myself. And I had to make little papers that said gifts under it. And there's a picture of us holding this little sign that we were the gifts. It was pretty exciting. And the art of doing those cookies. Oh my goodness, we all loved doing those cookies. And all we had was a knife, probably the primary colors of icing and the white, and sprinkles. And we would make those Santas and Christmas trees and
Yeah, well, it started because we couldn't afford decorations, and I decided to make Christmas cookies and hang them on the tree.
yeah.
And that's how that started. And then when anyone would come visit, they could pick a cookie off the tree. We didn't have money for decorations. So that's how the Christmas cookie got started.
Yeah, we'd take paper clips and open them up and stick that through the top of the, and hang those cookies, and they'd last a month or so. I mean, you'd still be eating them in January. Just hanging on the tree.
Yeah.
A couple needles, a little bit of greenery, you know.
One year we had a family that had 13 children, and you guys decided to give your Christmas gifts to that family. So all your Christmas gifts went to that family. which is
Wow,
In the parish.
I didn't know we
Of
did
course,
that.
yeah.
Little
Besides,
women.
Of course, we still gave you each a little gift. That's when we lived. We're rich. We lived in Rolling Hills. But we took a poor family and we decided to, Santa Claus could give your gifts to them. It worked out pretty good. You did make out very good that year, but the other family got nice gifts. I was the type that if you were going to church, you were going to see God Almighty. Now, if you're going to go see God Almighty, are you going to go in shorts and something? No way. You dressed up in your very best, what you had. And of course, we weren't rich and we didn't have best clothes. But we had clothes that you wore on Sunday. You didn't wear them during the week. You wore them to go to church, and you made sure on Saturday night your shoes were polished. The dress or shirt you were going to wear had been ironed, was nice and clean. And our family always looked pretty nice in church. I have a picture in the album with the three girls and me with our hats all on for Easter. I always wore a hat, and they always had a hat too.
For Christmas, it was more the red ribbons and
Red ribbon or something. But
and definitely every
never
Saturday
went to
night polishing those shoes. Polish. Dry them, shine them. Vaseline
They weren't always new because we were very good. We've always been thrift shop boutiques. The girls that come home from school, Mom, I need some blouses. Off we go to the thrift shop, get them some blouses. They always look pretty good.
What were those black shoes called? Patent leather shoes?
Oh, yeah.
We'd shine them with Vaseline because you wanted
with Vaseline.
shiny, black, shiny shoes.
Patent
Little
leather.
ankle socks.
Tiffany used to come and borrow my ugly Christmas sweaters. They'd have a party. Grandma, you got any ugly Christmas sweaters? Yeah, I got lots of them from the thrift shop. She'd come pick that up.
Did you have New Year's resolutions? Did you have a specific New Year celebration tradition?
We went out, it was Grandpa and I usually went out at a friend's house for a party with a friend or something like that. But it was never, our family anyhow, the big thing. And then as they got older, and the older children got older, they were allowed to stay up till midnight at home. And after we moved to the ranch, Grandpa would let the boys go out and the girls and shoot the rifles off the deck there at midnight, which we're allowed to do in this area. But never really celebrated New Year's a great deal.
New Year's
Day.
New Year's Day was bigger, really, because the Rose Parade
Yeah, the Rose Parade
was a
the
big
one.
deal. Monday would take different grandchildren with her. She was never one to take all 7 of us because she only had 2 of her own, so she'd take maybe 2 of us or 1 of us to the Rose Parade. And was it in?
Or
It wasn't on
downtown or something.
It wasn't
No,
on
we always took you to the Rose Parade.
And we went as a-
Nobody wanted to go.
We went as a family many times. I remember
Yeah, we went
sleeping
as
on
a
the
family.
sidewalk.
We leave at 4 in the morning to
Yeah.
drive over and find a place on the sidewalk. And yeah, I can remember Bruce running out to, who was that cowboy? Roy Rogers came down and Bruce ran out, and the guy bent down and shook his hand. So everybody loved that. And that would take, my gosh, 3 in the morning, you'd leave, and then 4, and then you wouldn't get home till 3 in the afternoon.
That's a big deal, and those floats were so beautiful.
The traffic, oh yeah.
And the traffic, yeah, lots of.
But that was a big thing.
How many times did you actually go?
That's,
Every year, with Monty just loved it, so Stan, of course, we'd all go.
remember the time she took Louie on the bus, and then Louie didn't get back in time when the bus was leaving?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Louie had gone to Mass, and
Sometimes, well, then one of her friends came, and she, on the bus from Colorado, what was her name? Lou Wolverton.
Lou
And she
Wolverton.
said, I'll be on such and such a street. And we said, oh no, how are we going to find her? Where's that street? And so here we are asking people where this street was, and they said, I think it's here. Well, no, that's in South Pasadena. Nobody. And Stan says, well, okay. So he just says, come on, he took me, and he left the kids, and Monday we started walking up and down on this. Finally found this street. I can't remember the name of it. We kept walking up and down, and pretty soon we saw Lou Wilverton sitting in front of this hotel with all her pink suitcases. And said, there she is! And I said,
oh my
God.
goodness.
We found her in that crowd. So I stayed with her, and he went back and got the car and the family and picked her up, took her over. Because she didn't know, coming from a small town, Colorado. The bus is going to leave me off at this place, so I'll see the parade. But imagine finding a person in that crowd.
Now, I don't think we were there when I was a freshman in high school, because we were having a party at our house, and I remember Aunt Pat was there or something, and no, Aunt Pat had given us an ice crusher for Christmas, and anyway, it got jammed, so I tried to fix it, and I stuck my finger, 32 stitches. Still have the scars today.
This has been episode number 21 by the fire.
Yep.